And as Apache departs to hold, so moving out onto the runway is the Autogyro. You see the main rotor on the top is stationary at the moment. They will get pre-spun up. I don't know whether he will spin it by hand or by a little rubber band off the main prop, which is on the back, which is propelling the Autogyro around. But by going forward, the blast of air up through that rotor will give it lift, and that is what will get the Autogyro airborne. Effectively, the Autogyro will be flying in auto rotation all the way by having the blast of the air going up through the main rotor, and that's how it flies. So it makes it incredibly safe because it's not really connected to anything, it's just a blast of air, and therefore there's plenty of that in abundance. It's a tiny little aircraft on the centre of the runway. Michael is stirring.
There just seems to be something a little terrifying about it because it's so small. You're basically in a little capsule, aren't you?
It's great fun.
Is it? Have you flown in one?
Yeah, I've
flown
in one. It's great fun. I mean, you're going to see the most amazing sequence in this Autogyro. You think you'd all just take it gently and everything, but no, 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 no. So some of them can pre-wind up the main rotor. Some will actually use just a blast of air to get it going along. On the big screens, we're having a much closer look at the Autogyro sitting on the runway.
So do you think we should ask Michael the Autogyro film-related question that came up earlier in the week?
He wouldn't know.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, you've got to ask me first. You can't just...
Which James Bond film featured an Autogyro, and what was the name of the Autogyro?
Sean Connery film. I know that.
Okay. Yes, I didn't ask.
No, I know. I'm working through it. I'm working through it. I want to say it was called something like Little Bessie, or it had a funny name like that.
Oh, very close.
Was it like something like that?
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
Not Bessie. Rotor being pre-spun.
Okay, let me think of the film.
Little something or other. Everyone, the whole audience is now willing you to know this, because they all know. If I give you the name of the Autogyro, that was Little Nelly.
Nelly. Oh, I knew it was something like that.
But which film? Here comes the Autogyro. While we keep you thinking of that, no, you're not allowed to look on the internet.
Fine, I won't.
I know that you'll get there eventually. I can see you sort of going through your mind of all the Bond movies. Here's the Autogyro airborne. I know it would come to you with a flash suddenly. I know exactly. I can see you working through all the Bond movies.
Okay, I'm going with You Only Live Twice.
Whoa! Where'd you get that?
He knows his stuff.
Listen,
well done, you.
Now, if you'd asked me a Roger Moore question, that was my celebrity mastermind topic. Was the Bond films of Roger Moore?
Was it really?
It genuinely was.
Now, look at that. Flying sideways.
Wow.
Flying, twiddling around, twirling around. It's got an amazing flight envelope, but all the time it's the blast of air going around, sideways, backwards, and everything that keeps it flying. So in auto rotation. And a manner of speaking, it's settling down, but it's still got total control of the aircraft. Indeed, some of the times coming past, you'll see being waved to by the pilot. Flying at speeds between 0 and 120 miles an hour. As you can see, very versatile, but it's great for rounding up sheep. Out in the wilderness, out in the back in Australia, something like that. It's cheap, you can get out there instead of a main helicopter. Cattle, used for fish spotting. What?
Is he winding me up, Mark?
No, I was just thinking of a conversation that happened last night off airfield when an Autogyro pilot said he stalked cyclists on it.
All cyclists on it.
Yes. Yes. It's such a versatile aircraft that a very good friend of ours on the airfield who's probably listening, look at that, the ability, twist and turn, booting it around. Isn't that amazing? He was telling us when he was converting, he would learn to fly at a disused racing course, and part of it was to go around the laps. It gives you the agility, gives you all the ability to understand how the aircraft flies. And then you go off and you stalk a car, which should be behind it, just out of sight of the car. And you can eventually the driver will look round at you and realise then you'd have to clear off. And further that, having got more skillful, because this person is a former very senior test pilot, would go off and stalk cyclists. So you'd find a bicycle and you'd be hovering behind until the cyclist eventually looks over the shoulder and thinks, I've had enough, and then you clear off. So the image, the story is very funny. And I wouldn't tell you who it was, but it's the director of the Flying Control Committee, John Turner. Sorry, John. This is an amazing bit of flying with the Autogyro. Look, I mean, the agility of it. And when I flew an Autogyro, as long as you stay inside the flight envelope of any aircraft, you can do quite a lot. Well, you've seen the amazing agility of this. Look, turning on not an awful lot, straight back round. And just a corkscrew, very, very tight corkscrew, and come almost to the hover. In fact, I would say they are in almost station and then back around. Certainly, you've seen it coming from very, very little airspeed straight into quite a rapid acceleration. I said anywhere between 0 and 120 miles an hour. It's very robust. It's very light. Max takeoff weight is a mere 500 kilos. You're never going to pull too much G in an Autogyro, but you've got to have a certain amount of effectively upward airflow, so a bit of G up through the rotor blade to keep it turning. Quite a bit of G in the turns, I suppose. They're not racking it on like an aerobatic aircraft, but certainly more G forces. It's got a great range, up to 4 hours endurance, and it's cheap. It's 12 to 18 litres an hour, and if you're cruising along at a reasonable speed, you know, it's quite good, comparable to a car of a decent size anyway.
What about if you were to buy one? What are we looking at? Do we know roughly what they come in at?
I have the slightest idea, but I know a source that we can look up and find and come back to you. So, where is he now? I'm just looking at the direction of the cameras, going well above us, out of sight. Remember those PlanesTV DVDs that you can pre-order? The number, I'm sure, will appear on the screen shortly. And a great start. Look at the rate of climb that ascends now, just hanging there, screwing down, corkscrewing down, hanging there, stationary. Well, just stopped now. And breaking away. I mean, look at that. It's total controllability, total safety, amazing thing to do. You just wouldn't think that something as small as that looks very flimsy, but it's not. It's tough. Remember PlanesTV, if you send DVD to 78070, just text DVD to 78070, PlanesTV will come back to you to sort out your order. If you order today in front of the UK Drone Show, you can pick up a free DVD today. They've been filming all week, got some in-flight camera shots, and the free DVD has bits like the final flight of the Vulcan, a rare airshow appearance of Concorde, various other bits and pieces. Now wave back. They are both hands waving. That's not mechanical. That's definitely the pilot. He can see you. You wave back. If he's got enough courage to take his hands off the controls, you can wave back as well. Feet are still on the controls, I think. That shows the stability, remarkable stability of the Autogyro. Autogyro coming back into the centre. Remember, as you go home, follow the marshals, don't rush. Follow the signs out to the motorways. Listen to airshow radio. They'll be giving you the ideas of traffic and travel. Trains, as far as I know, are working well, coming to a halt in the centre of the field for a nice bow. Thank you. Very polite. And to a very quick twirl round and land. Wow from everyone in the commentary position. We now have our specialist commentator from the British Army, Captain Jim.